How's it going, you guys? I'm going to be playing a different game today. I'm going to be playing some the Stanley Parable. Can't see it because my face is over it. But, yeah. I've been having a lot of trouble with my setup. I don't know why. It's been really stupid. It's been, like, giving me, like, 5 frames per second. I might be showing that before this video, but, yeah. Anyway, we're going to get in the game.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for his
Okay,
job.
seems like I came
And
back,
Stanley
I
was
guess, on
happy.
time.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained
I'm
his
ready.
senses, he got up from his
Oh.
desk and stepped out of his office.
I thought I was still in the cutscene. Alright. So, this game's pretty old, but basically, I'm gonna walk around, this guy's gonna talk to me the whole time. He's gonna be narrating everything I do. And he's gonna be telling me what I'm gonna do. But I can defy him, and he's gonna be like, oh, you're doing that wrong. Yeah, whatever. You've probably seen this already, but I like this game. It's really fun.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Sorry, it's a little bit laggy. I don't know why. I wish it wasn't. My games usually run at 60 frames. Right now it's running at 25 to 30 at most. I'm upset. V-Sync's off. Everything's going good, but no. Yeah, everything looks good in that room. The chairs are drinking coffee. Ha 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 ha. Okay. My first
When
choice.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. The door on my left. So if I look this way. The door on my left would be that one. So, what about that, dude? You know what? I don't know. I want to be like, oh yeah, I'll do whatever. It's okay. But, fine.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
This is what happens when
Perhaps
you
he
make my
wanted
game
to
run
stop by the
horribly.
employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Drinking it? Is that because there's so many coffee cups and coffee maker and a drink machine? I can get a can of soda for $1.25.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
You know what? I'm not, fine.
But
Sure.
eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Yes, I am.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Urge to defy raising. Just kidding.
Yet
Here's...
there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with a code worker. Hey Bob, I don't know what to tell you, but I got a problem with you. Let's you know, let's go out in the parking lot and just beat the crap out of each other. What did he say?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here.
I'm just gonna hang out
he
in the broom
turned
closet for a
around
while.
and got back on track. There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here. It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA. Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused. You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right?
Yeah.
If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
Yeah, fine, whatever. We're leaving. End of story.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I'm gonna go ahead and play the easy route here. I'll go through all of these stages of this game.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Yeah. I couldn't. Oh, duh. You know what, fine.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code
'cause I'm
by sheer
smart.
luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
A button.
Descending
Alright.
deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar.
Oh, really?
It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Okay. I'll play your game. Get it, game.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength
is that? Is
to
that
find
code?
out?
It's code, isn't it? No, it's a whole bunch of numbers. Oh, so many little bunch of squares and stuff.
Now the monitors jumped to life,
Oh.
their true nature revealed.
Fired.
Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen.
Oh, I can't go back
And
there. I want to see what it says
Stanley,
on
one
the
of them,
screen.
eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Oh no, I might have to sneeze. Okay. Lots of random cameras everywhere. So how many employees do we got here? 600? Yeah, I guess they didn't like uneven numbers. So they fired the 600
This mind
first.
control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job?
He would have
that his
never
emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
So I know that if I turn it on, the mind control will, like, turn on me. And the self-destruct sequence will go off. And I would lose. Or at least that's as far as I gotten before. So to play the easy ending, I would just... Oh, I didn't realize there was going to be a loading screen here.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine.
The aliens.
Unshackled himself from someone else's command.
Aliens.
Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Oh, no, I'm gonna go back. No, I'm just kidding. So,
Stanley felt
it
the
looks
cool
so
breeze
fake.
upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new
and see what it
path
looked like
before
on the
him.
outside.
This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Aw. Mr. Parable was happy.